Hi and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to take those plain Jane orange miniatures from the Magic the Gathering Planeswalker board game and turn them into some pretty fierce Hellcats. Want to see how it's done? Then let's get going. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye! In order to get your mini from point A to point B, you are going to want to give it a bath first. I recommend giving it a bath in Dawn dish soap and some warm water. This makes sure that any residual oils from your hands and the release agent on the plastic mini are removed before moving on to painting it. Once the mini is dry, these are the paints you're going to be using from Apple Barrel: white, outrageous orange, yellow, and pavement. First, you're going to start with pavement, and what you are going to do is take that and you're going to put it onto the body of this particular mini. Now, keep in mind there are these flames, and while you can get some of the pavement on the flames, I'm going to tell you this right now: try and keep it off the majority of it, because what we're going to do is we're going to play with the translucency of this plastic when it comes time to put other colors onto the flames themselves. The end result will help give this more of a glowing effect as opposed to a flat effect. So again, with the pavement, just get it onto the body of the cat form as opposed to moving it up and into the flames. Once pavement is completely dry, you can then move on to using white. And with the white, what you are going to do is a very light-handed dry brush over where the majority of the flames are on the body. You can get a little bit onto the body itself, but the focus here right now is on the flames. Again, it is important that you're not completely covering this. You still want that original translucency to show through underneath. When the white is dry, you are then going to move on to using yellow. Same concept. Take the yellow and highlight it. Now, what I did in this case is I kept the yellow a little bit more towards the base area of the flames and worked it a little bit up towards the tip of the flames. When the yellow is dry, you're then going to move on to using your orange. Same idea, except this time I put the orange a little bit more towards the top of the flames and brought it down towards the body with a lighter hand. When everything is pulled together, you can see you have this great flame effect, and any little bits of the lighter paints that got onto the body act as sort of a light reflection source in this case. Now make sure everything is completely dry before we move on to doing the wash. One last thing you can do is go back with your white and do a very faint dry brush just on the tip areas of the flames and the higher portions of the miniature. For the wash, do make sure you get Citadel's Casendora Yellow. I'm using this particular one because it has a nice gloss finish to it when you're done, which is going to be important for the flame effect. So basically what you want to do is take this wash and put it onto the entire body of the cat form, and yes, even onto the areas where there is pavement. What you may find you need to do is, once it's settled a little bit, is go back in with a paintbrush and remove some excess from the body portion of this particular miniature. Let this dry completely, and then we're going to go back on to adding some finishing touches to this form. When the wash is dry, at this point what I did is go back in and I wanted to focus more on the body of the cat form. So I went back and I used pavement. I used this to sort of cover up the legs and the lower portion of the body because I didn't want it to have that full glossy effect. You do want to leave the flames alone at this point. They are done. When the pavement is dried, I then went in and I used Golden Sunset, and I used that as a highlight across the body to enhance the features of the cat's form, because there is some musculature that you can bring out doing this. However, because both of these paints are matte, it then reduces the glow effect that's happening, and it really heightens the look of the flames. When it came to the base, I did want to keep things simple. So what I did is a layer of Mod Podge mixed with pavement, and I put that onto the base itself. Try and avoid the figure. You don't want to get this onto that. You've just finished painting it. Now, I did find in this case I had to put 2 layers of this mixture on simply because of the way it was clinging to the plastic of the miniature. When you have your 2 layers of this on, what you're going to do with the second layer is, before it dries, you're going to add some black sand on top. Now, I found this black sand at Dollar Tree in the floral section. It's really great, and the reason why I use this is because it has a crystalline effect to it, so it almost looks like burning embers in the light. So when you get this sprinkled onto the base after you've just applied that second layer of the Mod Podge mix, you then want to shake off any excess layer of the sand and allow this to dry totally. Then what I did is I took my clear Elmer's glue, and to make sure that sand does not flake off, I put a nice thick layer on top, and that seals the deal for this miniature, and it gives it a pretty interesting look to its base as opposed to just leaving it in that plain orange color. You could always take these off the bases if you wanted to, however I chose to keep them on simply because it had more of an interesting look to it, and I liked the way it ended up with this black sand effect. And you can also add some red to the eyes as a final touch to this mini. And here we have our before and after of this particular miniature. I've got to say, if you can get a hold of this Magic the Gathering Planeswalkers set, there really are some very interesting details in these miniatures, and I wanted to highlight this particular mini because we needed something that was going to sort of embody a hellhound, although really it is kind of a hellcat in this case. But once you get the paint on them, you start seeing these details that you may not have noticed before. So I do recommend that you take a look at these, and if you can get this box for $5 like many people are doing in various stores, you can get a whole bunch of minis for a really great deal. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. You can comment down below, or you can email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and you're welcome to subscribe while you are here. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll have something for you down the line pretty soon. Take care. Thank you to my new channel champion, Arrowood, for joining my group on Patreon. My apologies, we have the 3D printer going yet again! And it's been going for like 2 days straight. I need to get this film, so lovely background noises for you. That's really all I can say about it. Alright, sorry. And turn it into just this simple, turn it from. And change it from a plain Jane orange. Orange, you glad I said orange. Miniatures from the Waka Waka Waka. Let me tap into my inner fuzzy bear. I'm gonna show you how to take some plain Jane miniatures from the Waka Waka Wakas. I'm back to the Waka Wakas. Oh God, help me! Orange miniatures from the miniature market? No, God, no. Provider, not the maker. Hey, gentlemen, I think I just got high.